Hello, everyone. My name is Becky Hasty, and I am the admissions counselor and the recruiting coordinator for Simpson's continuing and graduate online education programs. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Please feel free to have questions ready at the end. We will have a Q&A session. If you would like to put them in the chat, Jennifer Miller, the Dean of Continuing Graduate and Online Programs, will be monitoring those for us. Now I'd like to introduce the Director of MAT, Marcy Hahn.
Good evening or good day, and thank you for tuning in to us and your interest in the MAT program, which stands for Master of Arts in Teaching, but it also has a facet called Transition to Teaching, and we'll talk about the difference of those two eventually here. Simpson's located in Indianola, Iowa. We have a West Des Moines campus as well, where some of the classes for this program are held, and some are here in Indianola. As you can see, then there's a picture of the West Des Moines campus. If you know the Des Moines metro area at all, it's near Valley West Mall, just off of I-235, pretty easy to get to. So anybody interested in the Master of Arts in Teaching might wonder, what can you do with this degree? So we'll talk about that in a little bit, and we'll talk about why you might choose Simpson over the many other choices you have, especially in the metro and maybe some that are online. We'll talk about what it means to get an endorsement, some of the highlights of our programming and requirements of that, and then conclude with the process for application. So when you finish the program at the end of the academic portion, student teaching, you would receive a license which qualifies you to teach 5th through 12th grades in the content area that you received your endorsement in, that you are qualified to teach in. And throughout that process, then you'll earn 42 graduate credits, and you'll end with a master's degree in teaching, which then automatically qualifies you to move over a couple of places on the salary schedule at public schools. And I want to assure you that MAT graduates from Simpson get hired. Sometimes people have a concern that having a master's degree and competing with undergrads, a school might want to choose that more affordable teacher, and master's degree folks get hired. Our placement rate is outstandingly high. So then why Simpson when there are so many choices for you out there? We believe that because we still ask students to be face-to-face in person, that the level of attention we can give you and the quality of instruction we can give you exceeds those programs that may be hybrid or even online at times. Because it's such a short program, and because we are so invested in you, we expect it to be in person. We believe strongly that people who want to be teachers should be vetted by us, that we want to make sure that we're passing on people who really should be in this particular profession. Children deserve that. So at Simpson, we take a great interest in our candidates. It's one of the reasons that we are the supervisors when you go out into your clinical practices. We stay really close to our students in that way. So we can verify, we can certify you to the schools that you really meet the standards, exceed the standards for becoming an effective teacher. So as I mentioned in the previous comments, you'll be able to build relationships with your faculty and especially your peers. We have the small cohorts, and we're a small college, and we have one cohort that starts each fall, and you will become very close with these colleagues, eventual colleagues of yours in this cohort, because everybody's traveling this journey together. Everybody has a different motivation, a reason for being there. But being adult students and having chosen this at this point in your life, you'll have that in common, and that will bond you. And then many of the other things we will do as you grow and learn in this process will bond you as well. And I can tell you the people who are out there from this program years on are still in touch with each other. The other thing we really offer is very extensive experience and expertise from our faculty, people who've been out in the classroom pretty recently, and then come to college and practice as well. So, and then follow you to your experience. So we make sure that what we're asking you to do, we're familiar with, and we make sure that what we teach you to do is being practiced out in the classrooms as well. And so we act more than just a faculty, we act as a classroom mentor to you as well. Our program is offered mostly in face-to-face and then some hybrid and online opportunities as well. Your summer class in particular is an online course. So the beauty of that is that you're only expending one evening a week coming to class, and then not any other night. So then you have the rest of the week to do what you need to do. You can continue to work while you're in the program, because classes are in the evening, albeit it makes it a long day sometimes, but even then it's paced out so that it's very manageable to stay working and still earn the degree. And so it looks a little bit like this. I mean, this is a kind of an overview, a summary view of it, but that would be the process of the fall, spring semesters, and then the summer you just have one online course, and then once again in the fall you come back for courses, and then right away you're ready to student teach, and it goes really quickly. You'd be surprised. And then the following summer, should you opt, you can do your master's thesis and have your master's degree. Some people opt to finish at student teaching, and that's when they are a transition to teaching person, and they can just get their teaching license and be done. Most people opt, though, to finish their master's thesis throughout that summer, and then you're ready to graduate in December. It goes very quickly. So in just 18 months, like I said, 3 regular semesters and a summer, and you're ready to student teach. And that's a full-time thing that you're doing then. So that at that point now, you have to be planful for that you are no longer working, because your day job now becomes going to school and being a student teacher. In fact, we really, if at all possible, recommend that people not work at all during that time, because what you're asked to do to be a student teacher is almost like being a teacher. And so the preparation and planning and just time that you need to recharge your own batteries is pretty necessary. So many have done it. It's possible. The other thing that we think sets Simpson apart is that we talk about applying theory to practice. So during the course of your program, you'll be in classes where we'll talk about theoretical approaches to education, or child development theories, things like that. And so in class, we study those things. Then you go out into schoolrooms and watch what others do and think about what we just talked about. Is it really being practiced? How is it being practiced? And you come back into the classroom and we reflect about that. So that cyclical process of learn, do, and reflect, we think is a highly effective way to, because the program's so quick, to really get your feet on the ground about understanding teaching, pedagogy, learning, students, all the aspects. And one of the other great things about being situated where we are in Indianola and West Des Moines is that we have access to urban and rural schools. And we will ask you, even in that short amount of time, to have experiences in elementary, middle school, and high school, because we want you to see and understand the spectrum of learning and student development. But we also will want you to have a rural experience, a suburban perhaps, and an urban experience. And that way you are uber prepared for anything that you may want to do eventually, or at least understand all those different ways that teaching and learning is approached. So, and then by the time you get to student teaching, you'll have the opportunity to say, I prefer, smaller, more intimate rural setting, or I really like the idea of some of the larger schools and diverse populations, and we can help make that happen. So I mentioned earlier that you'll have a content area that you're going to teach. And in teacher speak, we call that an endorsement. The state will give you a license in a content area and an endorsement in a content area that you are qualified to teach. So you'll have a teaching license with these specific things that you'll teach. So these are what we call the broad areas of endorsement: language arts, which then also includes speech and debate and communication. Math, as you all know, is algebra, calculus, those kinds of things, the natural sciences, biology, social studies, which actually is now called social sciences. They've since changed the terminology on that, but we all recognize it as social studies. But that includes American history, world history, psychology, sociology. So it could be that an umbrella of all of those. For world languages at Simpson, we offer Spanish and then a business as well. So if you have an undergraduate degree in any of those particular areas already, you're probably pretty well suited to meeting the requirements of the endorsement. Sometimes there might be a class or two that you need. On occasion, I have someone who got a degree in social sciences, but really is interested in teaching something else. And we can look at that program and decide what you might need to study in order to meet that endorsement requirement. So in order to become a candidate, we would like you to have a minimum of a GPA in your coursework in the area of your endorsement. And then in order to just get into the program, regardless, you need a GPA of 275. And those are set by accreditation by the state. But you can enter the program at a 275 and then throughout your coursework earn high enough grades that it moves your GPA to the 3.0, which then qualifies you to finish your master's degree. So should you choose to do that.
All right, so now it's my turn. So when the application process, you're going to go onto our website and you are going to go to the MAT webpage and you will find apply now, and you will click on that, and that will take you to a page where you will have to create an account. And once you create an account, then your application has begun. So once you start submitting the requirements, you'll see a dashboard on your application, and it will list all of the requirements that you are going to need. So you're going to need to submit official transcripts. You're going to need to provide 3 references, either academic and or professional. You will need to pass a background check. And then once all of these have been received, you will see a green check mark beside all of them, and that will indicate that your application is ready. And you will also have an interview with the program director, which is Marcy right now. And and then it'll go to committee for review, and they will make a decision, which then you will be notified on that decision. So I am available all along the way. You can reach out to me either by phone or email. We can schedule a time to have a face-to-face meeting if you're local, or we can do Zoom. So I'm here to make the application process as easy as possible and to answer any questions that you may have about the program itself. And if I can't answer that question, I will definitely get you in touch with Marcy, who can. So, all right. So FAFSA, so if you are planning on using financial aid or needing financial aid, you will need to complete the FAFSA. It is currently open right now for the upcoming school year.
Becky, I'd like to tag on to that slide.
Yes.
It mentions that students should explore loan forgiveness program. In Iowa, the Department of Ed every year publishes a list of shortage areas in teacher education. And if the content area that you teach is on that list, there are grants and loan forgiveness programs that you qualify for. And our financial aid office is experienced, highly knowledgeable about that process. And it certainly would be something to ask about and look into. Thanks.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have a lot of support for the graduate students at Simpson. We have personalized advising, the academic coaching, we have career services, and we have a huge alumni network, as Marcy said, that continue to just get together and talk and connect. All right, now it's time for the Q&A. And Jennifer Miller.
Yeah, and at this time, we don't have any questions in the chat. So,
all right, very good. All right, well, make sure that you go out to our website at simpson.edu, go to the MAT webpage and apply today, please. And again, contact me anytime during the process if you have questions. I'm here. So we're all here to help.
We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.